Timestamp. March 6th, 2026. It's almost 6 a.m. I've been up for a few hours. I did a little bit of stuff. I waited for mail and all that to get here. I had some packages coming in. And then I took a nap. I woke up 2 hours later. That wasn't good enough, but I hung out with my kids for a little while. We had spaghetti and banana bread, and it was good. Then I went back down, and I woke up like in between 1 and 2 a.m. Feel rested. Health check, I actually feel pretty decent. Not really anxious. I mean, there's always a little bit of anxiety because of what's looming, but not like a panic attack. Woke up to Tom Baker, The Deadly Assassin, which is it's a good app, but it's odd. It is. I think it's the only Fourth Doctor episode where he does not have a companion. I believe. Because I think it's like right in between Sarah leaving and Romana and the Key to Time series happening. And I guess there's some violence in it that was originally edited, like toned down by the BBC when it was broadcast. The Doctor is basically stuck in the Matrix on Gallifrey. The whole thing takes place on Gallifrey, big plot, political espionage, good app, again, but he's basically walking the Matrix, which is almost like, there's a holodeck connotation to it, and he's being stalked within the Matrix, and the safeties have been taken off, and he's wounded, and I think they actually show like blood. But when it first aired, the BBC was like, no, you've gone too far. Tone that back. We're going to edit that out. No, we can't show that. The children will be frightened. True story. But that would have been in mid-70s, 74, 75, somewhere in there. Now you can pretty much show, Saw as an after-school special, but, maybe not Saw. Halloween. There's actually not a lot of gore in Halloween. The original, 78. Really not, when you really, really, really look at it. Even the first F-13, really not a huge amount. I mean, Halloween, you got some, like, movies. Where's movies? For the most part, though, it's just the thematics of the tension, the suspense, the fear. Done well. John Carpenter, I mean, who can say anything bad about that? So I'm looking over my list, and I'm just kind of having that nope day. You ever have one of those where you're like, nah, I want to recount, but I'm going to get to it. Watched some videos. I had some tropical fruit Greek yogurt with cinnamon. It's a good start. I'm making some real coffee, finished off a pot of, I'm not sure what that was. We're making some creme brulee right now because I want some real coffee. And I'm still special. No, really. It amuses me. I'm not sure if whoever, because they probably had this mug made. I don't know if it was off the rack this way. It's the only one I've seen. It's normally it has like first names. If this was a, hey, put this on the mug, it was either someone doing like a self-affirmation thing, which is part of the way that I'm viewing it, and the other part is somebody was trolling somebody, and instead of putting their name on it, they said, put down I'm special, you know. But either way, it's a fun self-troll, so I'm just like, I love it. I love it. Because I am special. And I'm also special. I'm really not sure. It's okay. It is better than Waffle House. And hospital coffee. It's better than that. I hate Waffle House coffee. Oh dear God in heaven. Oh, Denny's, IHOP, Village Inn, I'm okay with their coffee. Waffle House, oh. Done a lot of traveling. And I'm a sucker for like a good diner. I will, if I'm on the road, I will absolutely try the like mom and pop diners. Love it. You know, the truck stop kind of places, love them. But from a commercial standpoint, you know, I've been to some of them too. And there have been a couple of Denny's and or a couple of Village Inns that I pretty much, it was one Village Inn that was like my second home for like 3 years. I had an apartment right nearby. It was like right down the street. So if I was feeling a wicked writing, you know, that burning I have to write, you know, I would go down there and get some food and typically coffee, sometimes, you know, tea or Coke or something like that. But if I was doing some kind of breakfasty food, coffee, and just write, I'd be there 2-3 hours. I know initially that was one of those, and they weren't busy. It wasn't like I was taking up huge amounts of space. But servers sometimes can be annoyed, you know, this guy's like been here for 3 hours. And I know the first time or two that I was there was that annoyance, but then, because I've done food industry work, if I saw that they were getting busy, I'd usually skedaddle. And if they were not getting busy, and I was there for 3 hours, I left noteworthy tips. You know what I mean? This is 20 years ago, and I would leave a $12 tip for, you know, $10 eats, because I was there for 2 hours and I was getting coffee refills. And after the first couple of times of that, servers usually, actually had some servers that would occasionally almost bicker over me. You know, that whole, oh, you can put them in my section. No, I've got a table. No, put them over here. You know, it's like, ladies. But they knew that I was going to be, if I was there for a while, I wasn't, you know, going to leave $2 in pennies. You know, if I'm there 2 hours, there's probably at least $10, maybe even $15 hitting the table. Which, 20 years ago, that's a good tip for not a huge amount of work. So, did they report it all? I don't care. Servers get abused so much, I hope they didn't. Did he leave you a tip? Yeah, $3. You know, please tell your boss. Report that. You know what I mean? Keep some of that money for you. Don't give it to the man. I'm really not sure what I'm drinking. It's okay. Sorry. So I saw on because I get pinged in my email. I have eBay searches, stuff that I'm constantly looking for or looking for the first time, whatnot. And one of the pings that I got today, I get some pinball pings. I'm nowhere near ready to order one, but I'm kind of trying to keep an eye on the market as far as like certain pinballs that I do want to be able to get eventually. Sorry, my dog is sleeping over there and he's running in his sleep, so. He's not doing it as much now, but his paws were like... He is dream running. And I'm probably going to wake him up because he is perfectly in the path. Hey, bud, sorry. I've got to get creamer and coffee, and I know the place is a mess, but boy, do you pick it. So I got pinged for there's a couple of older pinballs that I'm keeping an eye on. Ones that I'm not even sure that I played. Some of the more mechanical, non like fancy electronic ones per se. I mean, most of them are electronic, but the ones that don't necessarily have like digital screens and... Oop, that's full, all right. They don't necessarily talk to you or whatnot. Some of the, what do they call it, solid state, I think. The pinballs that were around like in the 70s that are not nearly as schmancy. One of the ones that I've got an eye on is Comet, which was made by Williams in one of those. It's like 70s, 80s. I forget the exact year. Shame on me, right? But so when one goes up for sale, it'll flag me, and sometimes it just tells me when like a brochure for the pinball got listed, and it's like I don't care. I am kind of not collecting, but I am, when I see them picking up the operation manual or repair manuals, if it's a game that I think I'm going to get eventually, I am grabbing that while I can, because having, the troubleshooting guide is a good idea on hand. I like the idea of doing that. And they're usually like in between 10 and 20 bucks. So if it's for something I know that I'm going to be getting, or I think I know I'm going to be getting, I grab those. So occasionally I get flagged for that as well, instead of, because it has some of the keywords. But it will also say, hey, if you're interested in that, you might be interested in these. And one of the things that popped up was Wonderland Amusements, Alice in Wonderland, or Alice Goes to Wonderland pinball for $1,000. Which, and it's like $999 with shipping, like included, which made me go, didn't know it existed. Briefly looked it up because I didn't know that this thing was a thing. There have been a couple Alice in Wonderland themed pinballs, but I don't know Wonderland Amusements. Apparently they're a new company, and they did like Kickstarter. It was like, it's a GoFundMe, but for companies, a Kickstarter. I guess they did a Kickstarter like in 2023 because they were attempting to put together a pinball for basically a home pinball for under $1,000, which that's an interesting market to try and get into because most of your pinballs that are doing like the home market, those pinballs are $7,000 to $10,000, which those are some of the ones that I'm looking at getting. I can't do that this second, but this is where it makes me feel like I'm talking like a supervillain or being morbid, but once the estate settles out, I can afford to get a few pinballs. I'll be able to afford to get a few pinballs. For all the shenanigans and bullshit that my parents put me through over the past 3 years, financially, as long as there's no trapdoors or whatnot, because we have, the wills and stuff like that, unless there's something else going on in the shadows that I don't know about, I'm set up pretty good. But like Scooby-Doo, Alien, Halloween, some of those, they're Labyrinth, they're going to cost me about $10K each. There's no way around it. And those are for the ones that I want to get. And some of the older ones are going to be in between 5 and 10. Back to the Future, Addams Family, Twilight Zone. Some of those are, Addams Family and Twilight Zone are very firmly in the 10,000 range. Even though they're older pinballs, they're sought after. I'm going to wind up paying $10K. It's going to be my personal reward program. If I do good as far as reinvesting and all that, I can every so often get a new pinball. That's kind of the way I'm doing it in my head. But yeah, no, I looked up this Alice Goes to Wonderland pinball because I haven't done research, but some of the initial stuff that I'm seeing, it may be a you get what you pay for kind of thing. It's getting some positive, but some real negative reviews too. So I will look at that a little bit more clearly. There's a couple of like YouTubers and whatnot that I tend to check out and trust. TNT Amusements, the guys there know their stuff. They know their stuff. And I saw that they apparently picked one up and did I guess it's a partial build, which that worries me a little bit. But from what I could tell just from the header, they were like, there's another one that I look at, Straight Down the Middle. It's a YouTube channel, Pinball Enthusiasts, and they normally give me pretty good information. So, I don't know. But if it is like really, really mixed, half positive, half negative, I'll wait. I'll take the next one, you know what I mean? I'll save that little bit extra and get, the Xenon pinball that I want to get. I'll spend the $4,000 and get the Xenon sooner than spending $1,000 of my pinball money on something that I'm going to be really annoyed that I spent $1,000 on. And again, I'm not in that moment. I picked up the arcade games as kind of this will tide me over and they don't take up as much space. You know what I mean? But eventually, my Phoenix, my Been Through the Fire reward program. It's funny because Pix is like, I know you're going to want to get the pinball. We talked about it, 3 years ago when my mom was like, what do you want to get with the money? And I think I told you that, get 100 pinballs. I can't get 100 pinballs, Mom. Get as many as you can. Okay. What can you get? 3, maybe 5? Great, get that. Okay. Well, right now I got 3 arcade games. That was basically a little bit less than the price of one pinball. I need to get them serviced, but get the screens refreshed, buttons little workover. Get around to that. Right now I'm trying to get through the Rebel, you know, but I'll get a tech out here in the next couple months, hopefully. Work him over, you know, make him cough, grab him by the... Anyway, yeah, so I was kind of, not really interrogated, but my kids were like, okay. In this practical conversation, which I understand completely, based on what we are currently going through, like, okay, you're looking at getting some pinballs. Those are big, and they're expensive. When you guys are gone, what does this do for us? Is this going to be an albatross? Are you leaving us with the same, you know, mess that your parents left you, our grandparents left us? And I'm like, no, this is not, you know, 100 banker boxes full of glassware. I said, you know, pinballs, number one, it's pinball. It's not a whole bunch of little debris everywhere. It's a pinball. You can see it. Is it big, bulky? Yeah. But is it marketable? Yeah. Yeah. And some of them you're going to be able to resell for what I paid for. Some of them you're going to be able to make money on, because some of the older pinballs actually just go up in value. But you're at least going to be able to get the money back that I put in. And Tiny was like, okay then. Okay, I'm cool with it. You know, you're allowed to be happy if this is going to make you happy, and if it's not going to be a burden on us, you know, 20, 30, 40, 50 years from now. It's like, man, I love what you're throwing down as far as the whole 50 years from now thing, but I don't know if that's practical. I would like to beat George Burns' record of 105, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it. I'm going to try. I'm going to try. Put in the effort. But yeah, and I told them both, I'm like, and along the way you may decide that you want to keep one or two of them. You know what I mean? Like, Tiny is a pretty big Scooby-Doo fan. And we had that conversation. I'm like, look, when it gets here, you might be like, when Dad passes, I'm keeping the Scooby-Doo pinball, because I like the game, and at the same time it reminds me of him, and I'm just going to play the Scooby-Doo pinball. I'm going to keep that. That's going with me. I'm not selling it. My brother can't have it. This is mine. And Tiny thought about it and was like, yeah, that could happen. That could happen. That could happen. Tiny's always been into robotics. Big Transformers fan, too. So they haven't played any pinball, but video game fan loves robotics. So Tiny's watched me watch a couple of playthroughs on pinballs, just to try and get the feel for the table. I mean, you're not going to get the feel for a table until you're actually playing it, but just to kind of get that whole, does it work smooth? Is it something I think I'd enjoy, you know? And Tiny was intrigued, because it's like a video game, but there's a mechanical aspect to it. You know, there's almost a robotic aspect to it, and some of them even much more so when they have some of the moving parts internally and stuff. So, kind of down with the idea of having one or two in the home anyway, just to try it out and see if I might like this, you know. So maybe no pinballs will leave the family. I don't even know. If I'm not here to have a say in it, then I'm not here to have a say in it. But my gut tells me that even after, and you'll have to let me know however you can, my gut tells me that when I do go, at least a couple of pinballs won't actually get sold. A couple of them probably won't get sold. They'll not get sold. The hell, maybe all of them. I don't know. Oh. it will officially be not my problem. But I'll try and make sure that everything's set up for, my kids before. With Alex, because the autism, Bix and I are going to try and make sure that we have the financials kind of set up on autopilot so that everything runs smoothly without a whole lot of interaction. And I know a lot of accounting firms and law firms and whatnot will set that kind of stuff up, so. Yeah, try and make sure that payments don't get missed because there's no involvement, it just automatically happens. Because it's not fair to burden Tiny with, the keeping track of sibling. That's not fair. So. Need to make sure that Alex is self-sufficient as best possible. These are the things that we think about. I'm adulting, and it sucks, but you gotta. But I'm also special. My mug says so. No, that's good coffee. I love my kid. I love all my kids, but stop it. Oh, man. There's a box of like pants or something over here. A bag. Just random fabric that I found washed and we're going to go into storage. And nice fluffy bag, lots of fabric inside. Janus has decided this is comfortable. By the back door, ready to go out, but for the moment, it's become a beanbag chair. Essentially. Now this should be lots of like Barbie furniture stuff. And some of this I wanted to look at. Pix doesn't even know that I got this. Some of this is going to be outsized for me. Some of it might not. Yeah, those are too big for me. Which is fine. Got a box over here. Like a high chair or a stool. Doesn't really have a tray or anything that latches over, so I guess it's just like a high stool with a little back on it. It's interesting. I always want to do the Jeffrey Jones thing. I mean, as long as I don't get, like, kicked in the nuts. Chelsea, is that one of the Barbie characters? I think it is. 2015 Mattel, it's gotta be. It's actually a little small for her. I figure that's a 5 to 6 inch figure right there. And Chelsea's like one of the little siblings or something. I may actually keep that one. Seeing that's why I was like, size-wise, I'm not sure because it looked really mixed. That I might be able to use and redress. It's got Chelsea up there and then that, but that's some kind of cardstock. That's interesting. It looks like it's a cardstock insert that would just pull out. Maybe it does, but I'm not going to do that this second. It's obviously got some tings that are supposed to fit there. That's not exactly a difficult thing to work around, because I am crafty. Wow, that's huge. It's sink with like a little stovetop kind of thing. Is that pop up or something? No. And it's got, guessing that pops down, yeah. How bad is this? Could pretty much fit the second Doctor in the fridge. I don't think I can use that. I think it's a little too big. Oh wow. Yeah, same with that. Oh, I see. So, let me guess, yeah. Well, it's more. So. Full on. Weird. Wish it were smaller, but it is not. Wow, that's huge. Huge. Also, not gonna work for me. Some rather tall chairs. That's the kind of thing that I want to try and like see if I can do a scan and 3D print to be able to make more of that. That would be incredibly useful for like storefronts and whatnot. It's a little big, but it could be modified too. Can you downsize scaling on a 3D model? Just like you can with like a JPEG or artwork, you know, like 75% size kind of thing. Asking, I don't know. Don't have one yet. Work the puzzle. Yeah, but those two pieces I'm going to keep. The mannequin is more Barbie size, but at the same time, I'm going to hang on to that because I'm a little better at keeping track of stuff. Because that's the kind of thing that I'd want to be able to try and scan. Because there's possibilities with that. Interesting. Very interesting. And then bag of stuff. It's going to take me a while to go through this. I don't want to take up your time. I guess it's supposed to be like a grill kind of thing, I guess. It's interesting. Is that a double sleeping bag? Is that what that is? Is that, like, these ends open? It's weird. And in there. And just a bunch of little gadgety goo. Alright. I'm gonna go through this, box it. Dishes out, dishes in. I need to boil some chicken, boil some eggs. I got a whole bunch of chicken thighs that are considering the sweet and sour sauce that they're resting in currently. We're going to introduce them to heat. Sounds really good. 6:30 in the morning-ish. Okay. Got a couple phone calls to make, but nothing like... We're okay. Hicks is supposed to be going in for a stress test today, which I told her not to worry about because she's going to pass it. We have stress. That's, you don't even have to study. You know, she'll ace it. She told me it wasn't that kind of stress test, so it shows what I know. But yeah, she's been without caffeine for about 20 hours now. And I guarantee she's cranky. So hopefully when she gets out of there, she'll, you know, pound a Diet Dr. Pepper or something and level out before we communicate. She wasn't too bad yesterday, but she was edgy. A little edgy. I've been without caffeine for like 5 hours, and I know it. Like, okay. Friend, smell the hand, smell the hand, smell the hand. But yeah, dishes out, dishes in. Gotta wash my bedding, laundry, boxes, glassware. Half of my day, a quarter of my day are my problems, the other 3/4 are my parents' problems. Basically, that's kind of my life right now. I'm trying not to be angry and bitter about that, but damn it, people. So, I'm going to get to it. So, little dog tap dancing this one. They went out a little while ago, they're fine. So, hug your parents, hug your kids, and make it a great day.